In this video, I'm going to review Mystery House, an escape room kind of game based on this idea, both on real escape rooms, and now we have had a lot of games coming out in the last couple of years that give you a similar experience, but you can play at home. So on one hand, they are puzzle-oriented games, you're solving puzzles, and also they're games with very limited replay values. Once you solve a case, once you solve an adventure, or you fail to do so and you solve many of the puzzles, then there isn't much that you can do. On the other hand, if you compare how much, well, simply the cost of going to an escape room, and maybe you don't have time to go at a specific time, then friends putting the money together to buy one of these games, actually they're going to still save money and have that experience, and they can have it wherever they want, whenever they want. You can have whatever drinks you want, which I don't know you can do in every escape room, or in any escape room. Now, Mystery House. So you have a basic set, a basic structure, a basic board, I should say, which I will show you from the back of the box. And then this one comes with two adventures, with two cases. Each you're supposed to solve in an hour real time. The game is app enhanced. That means you have to download a free app on your phone, and you will use that both to keep track of the time and to input several kinds of information. Sometimes, I hope this is not a spoiler, but in most games of this kind, you have to retrieve a code, and then you input it in there, and then they tell you, and the app tells you if you're right or not. The app tells you about the stuff that you find, and when you make certain mistakes, then the app also gives you a penalty in terms of time. When you get stuck, you can ask for clues up to a point. There's a point in which the app says, like, kind of judgmentally, you have all that you need. Deal with it. They don't say deal with it, but it's kind of like, looks like, you know, that message appears with that kind of like smug tone that messages do. Anyways, so the phone is very important. You need the app to play the game. Okay, 2 adventures only, limited replay value, but new adventures will be created. Also, I'm sure that then when you buy new adventures, the price will be much lower, because here you're buying the main board plus 2 adventures, so individual adventures should cost a lot less, hopefully. Limited replay value is not a problem if the play value is high. Time Stories is a great game, although you can play each adventure only once. The escape rooms, especially in the unlock system, again, they're much cheaper than real escape rooms, and they're just fun. I like them. Mystery House brings an interesting twist to the entire idea. What you find in the box is this board here. Oh, by the way, I'm not taking it out of the box. I'm not showing you anything because of spoilers. Because even if I show you some images, well, you may start getting ideas. And since solving the puzzle is the entire heart of the game, I don't want to give you any spoilers. But I want to show you how the idea works. Basically, inside this box, you have this other box. It's virtually the same size as this box. All the other components go inside. That has slots, as you can see, and windows around. Each adventure comes with a set of tiles with letters, say C1, C2, B1, etc., etc., etc. And so you place them in the corresponding slots when you set up the game. And this is how you set up the game. This is how the board may look like at the beginning of the game. Then you have a deck of clue cards. From time to time, you will discover something on a card, the app on a tile. The tiles will show different things. Walls, bookcases, different areas or different rooms. And maybe the app will say, oh, now that you looked at that one up close, get card 3, and card 3 will show you the same image more up close and with more details. You almost feel like it's a point-and-click adventure which you're clicking, and now the card gives you a better view of that thing. So that's the general idea. You can play it's cooperative, you can play solo or with other friends. This board will be in the middle of the table, and players simply will look around. You may put it on a stack of games so your neck doesn't suffer. You can play solo, simply holding the box and look around. And actually, disclaimer, that's how I played it. I played through the 2 adventures, or I failed both adventures, but solitaire. The main idea is besides that you're looking around and looking for clues, and from time to time you want to know better, you want to know more details, you want to interact with some of the details that you see on a tile. Maybe at the end of a corridor you see a tile with a bookcase and you input, all examples I'm going to give you, they're all fictional, and you input B2 and you're told, oh, there's a bookcase there. And you have a list of keywords that you can potentially interact with, and some actually relate to the image that you see and some don't at all. They're just there as visual noise. And so maybe it says chair, candlestick, book, table, etc., etc. And in that image there is only a book that you can interact with. So you click on book and you may discover more, or it may tell you, no, that is not there. Interesting enough, after you do that, then the app sends you back to the previous menu, which is where you need to input the rooms. If you make a mistake, you click on the right item, you're not back to the list of items. So N5, book, wrong. So I go back, N5, chair, wrong, N5. So I wish there was simply a way that when you get a clue wrong, you go back to the list, and then from there you can choose to go back to inputting the rooms. You didn't have to input the number, the code of the room every time. But this general idea, as you go on and you discover new things and you solve certain puzzles, you open a certain door, then the system will tell you, well, remove that tile. Now you see behind the door. How cool is that? I like that idea a lot. Because, well, we like the idea of immersion, of being in a fictional world, and puzzles, puzzle-oriented escape room games, of course, well, the difference from being a real escape room is that everything is right there in front of you. Here you really get the sense that you're there, you're looking behind corners, because everything that you can see is fair game. At the beginning I was like, no, I need to go straight. But actually, if you can see behind a corner, it's by design and you're supposed to do so. I like the idea a lot because it looks great. It had this immediate connection. You're holding the box, you had this connection, you're really getting the impression, the illusion, you're exploring the space, you had the moment of excitement when you see something that is not obvious. So all of these things are great. The Mystery House is a game that I wanted to love. From what I saw and when I set it up, I was like, this is gonna be great. And maybe it's because of that expectations that, at least in part, that I was disappointed, because as is, the game is a mixed bag. There are just many production issues, some small, some not so small, that that spoiled the experience. What could have been, what felt like could have been amazing, turned out to be okay for a while, until I got to the point where actually in both cases I got stuck. I hit a wall, not quite literally, and that was it. There were no clues anymore. The smug app told me, you have all that you need, so just stop whining. It doesn't say stop whining, but it feels like it says though. Now, you always say that's typical of old text adventures, for example. The frustration element is there. Yes, but also those were not timed. You could get stuck on one of those text adventures. You went back the following week and you worked on it again. Here, well, the timer, of course, it's ticking, and so that's frustrating. In general, I like the fact that with analog games and solitaire games, very often you can choose the level of frustration that you want to accept. Because, well, yes, there's a solitaire game that I never finish. It's a solitaire game. I'm here by myself, and I'm gonna cheat on a die roll. No one's gonna get hurt. And at the end, I know I won the game cheating 3 times. I decide how much frustration I wanted, and then I can try to beat that and see if in the future I can do it without cheating. I wish that basically every time that you get stuck, there were still clues that, of course, they'll give you penalties. So next time I'm like, okay, this adventure, I finished it with, 5 clues, or each time you have a clue, maybe you get a penalty. Okay, this adventure I finished in basically 5 hours of game time, counting all the penalties. At least I get to see the following content. But if there is a point in which you hit the wall, and then you just cannot go past that, then it's just really frustrating. I could just go back to old text adventures if I wanted that degree of frustration. Now, I play the game solitaire, so with more people, then you have more heads, and you may be able to solve those problems, but the game is marked at 1 to 5, so it's legitimate for me to try to solve it solo, and then to complain that if it's not solvable, then you get stuck and you simply don't get access to the other content. I like to see what's in those other rooms, but I can look at the tiles, but that's just totally annoying. That's not the kind of experience that I want to have. With more people, I can see a problem. I didn't play with more people, but I can see a problem, because if I'm sitting across the table and a friend is describing what they see from this thing, I know sooner or later I need to see it for myself. I know, especially if we get stuck, like, okay, maybe she didn't describe it accurately, or she's not seeing something. So I see the problem that with 4 people, at least I want to see everything. So at least everybody will have to show it to me, and I'm gonna be, that's the way it is. And I trust my friends that they also want to check to have the best possible understanding of the situation, which is hard to have anyways. Another problem, the rules say you should play it in full light. I tried basically in my backyard at some point in a beautiful sunny day. It was more than that. I almost needed to wear sunglasses. And it's still hard to see inside, still tough. Then you're gonna shine the light of your phone, but those tiles, they're beautiful and glossy, which is a problem because the light of the phone is gonna reflect on the glossy tiles and cover it. So part of the fun should be I'm immersed in this corridor and seeing the ominous armor at the end of it. But in truth, I'm struggling to see what is that blob of stuff. I'm blinded by the reflection of my own thing, and I look for the angle. It's an armor. And then we go back and we try to figure out, and maybe instead of armor, the keyword is breastplate. So it's something else. There's also another thing that something that you have in all the text adventures, the word guessing. Sometimes you want to say armoire, or actually you want to say wardrobe or closet, and it's armoire, for example. So that may happen too. That's intrinsic to the text adventure form that uses keywords. And to me, the biggest problem is how hard it is to see the things that you need to see. And so for those of you that have grown not only gray but also blind in the service of your hobby, then there can be a problem here. And again, also another problem simply to me, probably that I could go past all of these, but the deal breaker was that there is a point in which you have no clues whatsoever, and if you're stuck, you're stuck, you're stuck, you're stuck, and you are stuck. So you compound that with the fact that you're gonna play all this adventure only once. In my case, I played both adventures not even once, maybe 3/4, I guess, from the number of tiles that were left. It turned out to be a disappointing experience. I wanted to love this game, and I think there's still chances. I think the app can be fixed. The tiles in the new adventures can be less glossy, still gonna be dark in there, but I wanted to love it, and I hope I will able to love it so in the 2.0 edition with new adventures, because as is, it was a disappointing experience. I wanted to love it, and I was having fun for a while, and then all these little annoyances compounded in a bigger annoyance, and so the experience turned out to be not nearly as fun as I think it could. Mystery House, one day it may be the best escape room system out there. Right now it ain't.